Welcome back, my friends, to our Alliance Tournament Fiesta. For our final match of the day, we have the Veyr Collective, which is a smaller Empire Corps alliance that I don't really know too much about, versus Northern Coalition Dot, which is a big 0-0 alliance. So what do you think about these setups, Kill 2?
Really interested. I mean, we have kind of the standard double Slipner Scimitar with support on the NC side, which has shown that it's really strong throughout the whole day. We have something totally new on the other side for Veyr Collective. 2 Talos, 2 Incursus, and Nero's Prophecy. The Prophecy is really weird. The Taloses are a little unusual too, especially because they're going to be armor Taloses, and they're going to be wanting to brawl. So, like, instead of flying away from these Slipners, they're more or less flying straight at them, which is pretty unusual. It actually looks like they're going to skip the Slipners, though. They're going to try and... I'm trying to keep an eye on these Talos to see exactly what they're doing, but... no, they're shooting Slipners. So we'll have to see how they're able to do at just brawling, I guess, with those Slipners, with the logistics on each
Yeah,
side supporting.
I have no idea what the Veyr Collective was intending to do with this team. I don't really like the lineup. It just seems to be kind of all over the place, and so far they don't seem like they can stand toe to toe with the Northern Coalition setup. They're just getting torn apart.
That's a little hasty there, Zastra. They've lost one Incursus, which isn't ideal, but one of the first Talos to be taking damage is kind of hanging in there in armor right now, just like the Slipner on the Northern Coalition side is. And as you can see, both teams have a lot of support EWAR active. There's Damps and ECM drones being fielded by NC, and there's tracking disruptors, target painters, and jam drones being fielded by Veyr Collective. So
You just keep watching there, Kill 2. You just keep watching. I will be vindicated, and I did just make another vindicating joke.
I mean, it looks like you're right. It looks like the Talos is breaking. His
Of
tank
course
is
it looks like
obviously
I'm
going
right.
to be weaker than the Slipner tank, but I don't think it's a crazy setup that doesn't make any sense. I think the weirdest part of it is the Prophecy, and we did just lose that Talos, so you're probably going to be right that it's not going to work, but I don't think it's a bad setup. It might not be as good as the Slipners, but it's not crazy, I don't think. I'm curious about the Prophecy. He's going to be obviously having gang links. That's a really important thing for him to be doing, but having him there might just be because they wanted an armor ship that would field links, and I don't know why you wouldn't have a Brutix. I think a Brutix would probably be better for the same role, but in any case.
I tend to agree. And as I predicted at the beginning of the match, the Veyr Collective is taking a lot of damage. They're losing ships left and right. Northern Coalition hasn't lost a single ship yet, and I predict that the Northern Coalition will slam dunk this match 50-0. What do you think?
I think that's a really tough call to make at this point, Zastro. Yeah, of course, that's what's going to happen, but I do think it was close. I think, maybe if the Prophecy was something that could have done a little more damage, or maybe if they'd have come up against something else, the setup might not have looked as weak. But I think at the same time, the setups are very, very similar, and the Slipners are just better. So that's a good case for what you're arguing, obviously.
I don't know if we've seen any of the Talos lineups today, and there have been a couple. I don't think we've seen any success out of any of them. So as soon as I saw Talos on the field, I was predisposed against them, and I have not been proved wrong yet.
Yeah, and the Veyr Collective lost their Oneros. They, after losing the first Talos, had a really hard time getting any more damage in on the Slipner. He recovered to full shields. Now he's back low again, but I can't imagine they'll be able to get him killed before the reps come back. They probably just got to jam on the Scimitar for a second. Yeah, the Talos is... I wonder if they're going to trail off as we go forward in the tournament, or if they'll keep showing up. They're so good in small-scale PvP generally. Do an enormous amount of damage. They track really well, so they're pretty good against support. They're very fast, and they have plenty of slots to work with.
At TQ, I tend to agree, but you have to consider their point cost here in the Alliance tournament.
Which is very cheap, you're right. That makes them much better. Actually, and you're forgetting about the ancillary shield boosted Taloses from earlier that did really well.
That's true. Well, pretty much everything with an ancillary shield boost on it has been doing well so far this match. The ASB has proved to be the biggest new module of this tournament.
Yeah, and it's having a similar effect on small-scale PvP on TQ, so shouldn't be too surprising. Really, really strong, like I said earlier, just adds an enormous amount of tank to a ship that doesn't even have to do a whole lot else around the ASB to provide that tank. Usually, to build a really strong tank in the past, you would have had to add cap support and kind of things to resist whatever to build around whatever sort of tank you're running. But with ASB, it actually does a really great job on its own, which leaves a lot of versatility intact for ships like the Talos.
Yep, and we see this prophecy going down. None of the Northern Coalition ships in any trouble whatsoever. Northern Coalition is going to win 50-0. I was right. You were wrong. Nan boo boo, stick your head in doo-doo.
I don't know that I ever said that they weren't going to win. I just said that it wasn't like over before it started. That's all.
And that will do it for today, my space friends. Thank you for watching the first day of the Alliance tournament. We have plenty more spaceship action for you tomorrow. Congratulations to Northern Coalition Dot on this victory, and see you guys tomorrow.